He groped my mom in a crowded bar, smashed a glass pitcher into my dad's face, and walked away like nothing happened. No witnesses, no consequences. Until my uncle showed up, quiet, calculating, and decided justice wasn't optional. It was personal. If you've ever wished someone would finally get what they deserve, hit that like button and buckle up. Because this isn't just a story about revenge. It's about how one man turned pain into a plan and took down a monster with surgical precision. Let me tell you a story I only began to understand as I got older, one that shaped my family, and in some ways, shaped me. It didn't happen directly to me, but it changed the people who raised me. My parents had me pretty young. Not teenage young, but they were fresh out of their teens when I came into the picture. College students try and juggle classes, part-time jobs, and a new baby. It wasn't easy, but they had help. We lived near extended family. So I spent a lot of time with my grandparents while my parents tried to build a life. Like any young couple, they still went out once in a while, grab a drink, blow off steam. And that's when he showed up. That night, that one horrible night, it was just supposed to be a normal evening at a local bar. Music pumping, friends laughing, drinks flowing. My mom and dad were hanging out with some classmates when some drunk creep, let's call him Kyle, started bothering my mom. Groping her, making disgusting comments. She told him to back off. My dad stepped in to protect her. There were words, sure, but nothing more. The guy eventually slinked off, or so they thought. Half an hour later, in the noise and chaos of the crowd, someone smashed a glass pitcher across my dad's face. No warning, no name, just a flash of pain and blood. My dad collapsed. He was rushed to the hospital with a broken nose and a severe concussion. His memory was fuzzy. He'd been drinking a bit, and the trauma blurred the rest. They pressed charges against an unknown assailant. But what could the police do? It was a crowded, dark place. No witnesses. No camera footage. And the guy? Gone like a ghost. But the story didn't end there. A few days later, my mom was walking across campus when Kyle, yes, same scumbag, approached her. Smirking, brazen. He didn't even hide it. He made veiled threats. Told her my dad should have minded his own business. That a little touching never hurt anyone. That next time, maybe he'd do more. He walked away without a care. No shame. No fear. Just arrogance. My mom broke down that night. She cried until her voice gave out. My dad, still healing and furious, was helpless. The rest of the family, my grandparents, cousins, were all walking on eggshells. No one knew who Kyle really was. They hadn't caught his name. And even if they had, what could they do? It was her word against his. No proof, no justice. That's when my uncle entered the story. My mom's older brother. A man with quiet eyes and a steel spine. He lived across the country, working as a private investigator. He wasn't part of the initial chaos. He only found out after my mom finally broke down on a phone call weeks later. The second he heard someone had touched his little sister and put her husband in a hospital, he dropped everything, took leave from work, packed a bag, drove all night. He arrived with no fanfare, just a notepad, a voice recorder, and the kind of cold focus that meant he wasn't here to talk. Within days, my uncle had mom point out Kyle from a distance on campus. And from that moment on, Kyle had a shadow. For the next few weeks, my uncle followed him, carefully, quietly. He called in every favor he could from old PI contacts, dug through student records, scanned social media, tracked patterns. He discovered Kyle was into far more than harassment and bar fights. Turns out, this walking trash pile was up to his neck in drugs, possession, distribution, consumption, petty theft, vandalism. He was a roach hiding in plain sight. But my uncle didn't want him arrested for that. No, he made it clear from the beginning, if this guy goes down, it's going to be for what he did to my sister and her husband. So the trap began. He approached Kyle in a bar one night, pretending to be a sleazy out-of-towner, looking for trouble and good connections. Kyle, being the ego-driven idiot he was, welcomed him like a long-lost brother. They became drinking buddies. Nights out, parties, late-night motel hangouts, and all the while, My uncle kept the cameras rolling. Eventually, Kyle got sloppy. Really sloppy. One night, completely drunk and bragging, he confessed everything. On video. There was this chick, right? Real cute. Told me no. So I cop a feel anyway. Her boyfriend started acting like a hero. So I smashed his face in with a picture. Dumbass didn't even see it coming. He laughed. Thought he was untouchable. Didn't realize he was speaking into a hidden camera that was rolling the whole time. My uncle didn't wait. The next morning, he walked into the local police station, video, photos, documents in hand, and turned himself in. Why? Because in our country, secretly recording someone is technically illegal, but the rules change if you're not a government official. And, ironically, if the recording includes video, it can be used in court. He paid a price, a $2,000 fine for illegal recording. But Kyle? He paid far more. The video was undeniable, incriminating. The court slapped him with 6 years in prison for aggravated assault, sexual harassment, and drug-related charges. My parents won damages in the civil case, and Kyle's future? Shattered, all because one man refused to let evil walk free. The day of the verdict, my uncle sat silently in the courtroom. No fist pumps, no celebration, just a nod. Justice had been served, not just legally, but personally. My mom cried again that day. But this time it was different. Relief, closure, gratitude. My dad, still carrying the scar on his nose, hugged my uncle tighter than I'd ever seen. And me? Well, I was just a kid. But as I grew up and learned the truth, I understood one thing crystal clear. Never underestimate the quiet ones. There's a special kind of justice that doesn't come from courts. It comes from love, from family, from those who say, you hurt the wrong person. And sometimes that's all it takes to make things right again. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories of justice, karma, and the kind of revenge that hits where it hurts. And let us know in the comments, have you ever seen someone take justice into their own hands and actually win?